Welcome. You know that feeling on a construction site, right? The constant firefighting, the rework, the delays. It feels like you're just wrestling chaos. Well, in this explainer, we're going to build a simple, powerful system to turn that chaos into total control using real-world tools you can literally start using tomorrow. So you have to ask yourself, why does this happen on almost every project? Is it just bad luck? A difficult contractor? Nope. The truth is, those are just symptoms. The real cause is that we've been thinking about planning all wrong. Okay, this is the big mindset shift right here. Most people on site see planning as paperwork, a box to tick for the client. But the professional, the PMP way of thinking, sees it as an active control system. It's not a dusty document on a shelf, it's your main weapon for killing risks before they blow up your budget and schedule. And this just nails it. This is a fantastic line for any job interview, by the way, because it shows you get it. You understand that the hard work you do up front in planning is what saves you from the nightmare of tearing down a wall later just because the approvals weren't done right.
So here's our game plan. We're going to build this control system step by step. First, we'll lock down the scope with submittals. Then, we'll build quality into the process itself. After that, we'll tackle how to handle change, because it's always coming. And finally, wrap it all up in a simple framework you can use anywhere.
All right, pillar number 1, submittals. This is where we stop the project scope from being a moving target. This is how you prevent the number 1 cause of rework on site. Look, a lot of people think a submittal is just another form to get stamped. That's a huge mistake. A submittal is your scope freeze tool. It takes a vague idea in the contract, like install ceramic tiles, and turns it into a concrete, approved reality. It says, this is the exact tile from this manufacturer installed in this pattern. No more arguments, no more ambiguity. Now check out this workflow. The secret sauce, the step that separates the pros from the amateurs, is number 3, internal technical review. Amateurs just throw the submittal over the fence to the consultant. Professionals, we check our own work first. This one simple step saves you weeks of back-and-forth emails and makes you look like a total rock star.
This one word, is the most important gate in your entire project. Everything stops until you see this. You don't buy materials, you don't start work, you don't do anything on site until this word is officially on that document. It's the ultimate green light.
And how do you keep track of all this? A simple log. That's it. But this isn't just admin work. From a PMP perspective, this log is your proof. It's your traceability. It's your bulletproof defense in a claim meeting. When someone asks, who agreed to this? You just point to the log. Game over.
So if you take one thing away from this section, let it be this. Burn it into your brain. Make it your team's mantra. No execution before approved submittal. It's an interview-ready line that says everything about your professional approach.
Okay, let's move on. We've frozen our scope. Now, how do we make sure that what we build is actually good? This is where we stop just checking for quality at the end and start building quality into the process from the very beginning. This is a classic PMP exam trap, so listen up. QA, quality assurance, is proactive. It's about the process. It's the recipe you create before you start cooking. QC, quality control, is reactive. It's the inspection. It's tasting the food to see if you followed the recipe. One prevents defects, the other finds them. You need both. And your 2 main QA tools are the method statement and the ITP. Just think of it like this. The method statement is the how-to guide for a task. The ITP is the checklist you'll use to make sure the task was done right. You prepare them both before anyone even picks up a tool, so everyone knows exactly what good looks like. And this is your QC loop. You formally request an inspection. If it fails, you issue a nonconformance report, or NCR. This is a formal flag that something is wrong. That NCR forces a correction and another inspection. It's a closed-loop system, which means no defect gets swept under the rug, ever. So, if approve was the gate to start the work, verify is the gate to accept it. This is the moment where you officially confirm that the physical work on site matches exactly what was agreed to in all that planning and paperwork. Why do we care so much about all this paper? Because in construction, if it's not documented, it didn't happen. Simple as that. Your log of inspections and NCRs isn't just red tape, it's your professional shield. It protects you, your company, and the project from arguments and claims. Okay, now for the fun part. We've got our scope and quality systems in place. But what happens when the one thing that's guaranteed on every project shows up? Change. How you handle change is the ultimate test of your control. So the client wants a different door. You don't just say, sure, and tell the carpenter. A pro follows the process. You get a formal request. You analyze the impact on cost, time, everything. You get a formal written approval. And then, this is the step everyone misses. You go back and update the original submittals. Then, and only then, do you actually tell the team to make the change.
This is it. This is probably the biggest rule in all of project management. Implementing changes based on a verbal command is the fastest way to destroy your budget and schedule. You analyze first, get approval, update the docs, and then you execute. Always in that order.
So let's bring it all home. We've talked submittals for scope, QA/QC for quality, and a process for change. Let's combine all of that into one simple, elegant framework that you can use as your blueprint for success.
But first, let's look at the anti-framework. These are the project killers. Starting work before approval, thinking quality is just about inspection, agreeing to verbal changes, and having sloppy documentation. Any one of these can sink your project, and on the PMP exam, they are always the wrong answer.
And here is the beautiful solution. It's a simple, continuous loop. You plan the work, you get it approved, you execute according to the plan, you inspect to verify it's correct, and you document every single step. That's it. This cycle is the engine that drives professional project control.
And that brings us to your golden interview line. When someone asks how you manage your projects, this is your answer. I manage quality and change through approved submittals and controlled documentation. It says everything they need to know. It tells them you're not just a supervisor, you're a manager with the system.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Don't try to boil the ocean. Just think, what is the one single process you can implement tomorrow to bring a little more control to your project? Maybe it's just starting a submittal log. Whatever it is, take that first step and start moving from chaos to control.